Hey guys, it's Neil here again from RepRap Blog Face, doing another tutorial on how to put together a Prusa Mendel. This one is going to be how to install the first half of how to install your Z-axis. For this part of the installation, you're going to need your two bar clips right here, 4 of your number 6 or number 3 20mm long socket caps. There and there. You're going to need 4 of those. Your two 333mm smooth rods, 4 bushings, your PLA or your fixed bushing, whichever version you're using, and your assembled X-axis rods right here that you did in an earlier step. As far as tools, you're going to need your Gorilla Glue or whatever type of adhesive you use. I know Gorilla Glue isn't internationally available, but what you want to make sure is whatever adhesive you're using, it doesn't get really hard and brittle once it's dried. You want it to stay a little bit malleable. You're going to need a spirit level, which looks like this right here. A drop line. You can use just a nut tied to a piece of string, but these work way better, and they cost like $2 at the hardware store. So just go ahead and get one of these. You'll use them, I promise. You're going to need your wrench that you're using on your threaded rod. I have a 13mm here, which actually I use for my 5/16 because it's good enough. The way I put this together, you're going to need a clamp like this and 2 pieces of scrap. And no matter what, you're going to need some shims. Best shims you can buy, folded pieces of paper. So first things first, what you're going to want to do is make sure that this top part right here, your top Z bars, are perfectly level. Both this way and this way. They're probably not going to be perfectly level just because of the variation on the bottom of your feet. So you're going to actually have to use little pieces of paper and put them under your feet until this is absolutely horizontal. Perfectly level. Once it is as absolutely close to perfect as you can get it, you then need to take your spirit level, or your spirit, and you're going to put it right where the center of this rod would be. Right here, but I've already installed it. And you would drop it down, and you want this piece to go into the very middle of this clip. And you want it to settle just perfectly in there. Get it hand tight, and then use your wrench to generally poke it back and forth this way, and then left and right over here on both of them until it's as close as you can get to perfect. But you want it as just absolutely as close as you can get to perfect, just to make it easier on yourself. Then what you're going to want to do after you do that is go ahead and install your two 333mm threaded rods, install your 2 clips, screw these in, and again, it's not going to be perfect, but you want it to be as close as you can be to perfect. Then what you're going to do is take your already installed X-axis. Now remember earlier we tightened down this side, but we didn't tighten down the idler. So you'll take your idler, or you'll take your X-axis, you'll slide it in here. You'll go ahead and slide your bushings in, both sides, like this. Now, a little hint on the placement for these bushings is you want the bushing to be at the very top and the very bottom of the axis pieces. So I'll go ahead and get these lined up for you so you can sort of see what that looks like. So what you want is for them to look like this. You want one at the bottom and one at the top. That will give you the least amount of play. Now, you can go ahead and glue it down here if you want. But what I actually suggest you do is slide it all the way to the top and butt the idler and the motor bracket against the top Z motor brackets. Take yourself 2 pieces of scrap, one there and one there. barely clamp it. Don't make it tight, because the last thing you want to do is bend that rod. So you just enough to hold it. Now what that gives you the ability to do is you can still slide your idler back and forth. What you're going to do is you're going to actually glue it so that it is, glue your bushings at the top. Part of the reason you want to glue it at the top is because you are fixed at the top. There's not much you can really do at this point with the top. So you glue it here. You can jog your the bottom clips on the bottom once you get done. So you can actually jog these back and forth, and this will actually be about the most precise way to tell whether these two rods are parallel. Because in the end, what you're most concerned about is these two rods being parallel, because you don't want at any point along the sliding along your Z-axis for it to bind against the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the video down, but I'm going to go ahead and glue the bushings on this side and this side, and then we'll go on to the next step where we'll actually install the Z motors and the coupling and the Z rod, or the Z drive rods.